This clip covers the Drilling Data tab within Innova Engineering. So the Drilling Data tab is located here. By selecting it, what it effectively is a place where you can input real-world data from the rig as you are drilling, or historical data from the rig once it's been drilled, and you can overlay this information upon your model data or use it to update your model data based upon some parameters. To show you an example, I'm going to open up example project 3 that comes with the default install, and I'm going to calculate my hydraulics. And within the hydraulics, I'll open up the pump pressure chart. We can see we've got the standpipe pressure has been modelled for various different flow rates using this fixed mud weight. If I go to the Drilling Data tab, we can now input various different values. So I'm just going to input values at 1,000-foot intervals. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is input mud weight that we could have potentially got at the rig site. So you would be updating this in real time or after the event. And just showing you the mud weight, for example. Okay, so just to recall, we run the calculation for model data with 9.3 ppg mud weight for these different flow rates. Now what we're going to do is rerun the calculation with this data input in the Drilling Data tab. And what this effectively does is from surface to the first point in our Drilling Data tab, it will use this default mud weight that we've input as a parameter. From that point onwards, 20,000 foot onwards, it will start using this data. So 9.2 ppg between 20,000 and 21,000 feet, and then it will change to 9.3. So what we can now see is if we open up our pump pressure data, we've got slight variations, and this from 20,000 foot is based upon the mud weight that we've input in the Drilling Data tab. So all of these different parameters are either for reference or can affect the model data or can be overlaid upon charts. So the option is here to include drilling data in calculation. It's currently by default selected as yes. If, however, you just want to have the data in here for reference and you don't want it to affect your model data as it has done in the hydraulics, then you can turn it off. So if I rerun the calculation again, even though I've got the data in the Drilling Data tab, I've rerun the hydraulics calculation with drilling data not included in the calculation, and you can see it's on this fixed mud weight of 9.3 again for the different flow rates. So that's one use of it. There are parameters in here that will affect the model data. Another method for it is to overlay real-world data on your chart of model data. So in this case, I will put on the on-bottom pressure, and so we'll say 3,500 psi, 610, 700, 385. Okay, so now I've input some on-bottom pressure data that we've potentially got at the rig. Then calculate my hydraulics. Because we have include drilling data in calculation selected as no, it won't change our model. However, what I can now do is add series. And from the add series dialog, we've got our drilling data function here, and we input on bottom pressure data. If I click to the right to put it in the displayed column, hit OK, you can now see that our on bottom pressure series has been added, and it overlays the real world data from our Drilling Data tab on the charts. The same is applicable for other functions like on and off bottom torque, the pickup and slack off weights can also be put on the hook load charts. So that is the approximate functionality of the Drilling Data tab. One other thing that you can do with it is options, and if we go to show hide parameter columns, we currently have all of these different parameters visible within the drilling data tab. If you're only interested in, say, your on and off bottom torques and you pick up and slack off weights, but you don't want any of the other columns displayed in here, you can just unselect them and they will disappear from this table altogether. If you want them back again, you can obviously recheck them and they will become visible again. Okay, so that is the brief introduction to the drilling data tab within Innova Engineering.